Okay, so I'm gonna go. This may seem like a reach, but this is a song I'll say I actually think I actually like this song. Um, Sad Cafe.
Hmm.
That would probably go in your Don Henley cringy moments, but I like it, so I'm gonna go with it.
That I think was the B side to one of the singles from that album, and my mom used to play it, so I have some love for it. I'm not sure it's this high, but if
Well, we
they,
are almost at the end of the draft now, so
I know. Well, then I'm gonna have to take. Wow, it's really thin pickings. I'm gonna take those shoes
hmm,
just
you're
because of
going
the
deep cut.
yeah, but that's the Beastie Boys sample of that. I mean, I wouldn't. That was. I don't think they were trying to be soulful there or disco or anything like that. But the Beastie Boys' use of that for High Plains Drifter sort of gives up why it's not just your average deep cut. Like they were trying for something, and it's a little bit cringy, but it's just a slightly different context. Not only is it not cringy, it's blessed. So those shoes, I think, is a pretty defendable top 10 pick.
All right. Okay, so let's see.
Where are we at? Yeah, how many do we have?
We're this is my last pick. This is okay. So I'm gonna go another late era Henley cut. I'm gonna go "Victim of Love,"
Wow.
and that's another fine guitar song, I think.
Yeah, the Hotel California stuff. What's left on that album? New Kid in Town? Wow, that's I have if there the hole in my game here is my only real Glenn Fry is Take It Easy, and he didn't write that. No, Already Gone is him.
Yeah.
All right, so I have two big vocal performances from Glenn, old Glenn, and I've got hero level performances from Joe Walsh. I've got a Don Henley ballad, a top tier ballad in my humble estimation, and then I got the Beastie Boys sample. I got the weird left field. I can't tell you why. Top 10 hit from their fucking ninth bassist or whatever. Um, I I feel like I for you've gone deep a couple of times here, and I'm proud of both of us for making it to the end without picking Old 55, just
Well,
because
it was off the table, but
it was off
yeah.
the table, right? Or I'm trying to make a case. And no one picked James Dean, which is one of the crimes against humanity. Like, it's one of the most offensive things. Right up there, though, is with the Greeks Don't Want No Freaks with Jimmy Buffett. And I dislike Jimmy Buffett more than I dislike even the Eagles.
That could be another draft. That really could be another draft.
But there's really nothing left here. New Kid in Town is dreadful. Heartache Tonight is dreadful. Uh, Greeks Don't Want No Freaks is dreadful. Doolin Dalton Gang, like all of these are dreadful. I think I would, if I was forced to, I'd take the Greeks Don't Want No Freaks as my final pick.
Wow.
I can't listen to, um, I could never listen to Heartache Tonight or New Kid in Town. Like those songs are like, there are, everybody's got that song that they can tell from like the first nanosecond of it coming on the radio, they can hit the button to make it stop. Stuff like Heartache Tonight is one of those for me.
I honestly because we're going back to, hearing a lot of it, like when you're a little kid and these are the first songs you ever heard in your life. I probably could have gone, if pushed, I could have gone with New Kid in Town or Heartache Tonight, um, on that basis. I probably would have. Another song that I could have gone with, but isn't really a song that so I could have gone with My Man because it is about Graham Parsons. But it isn't really a
Mm,
song I love or anything like that. I would have just been picking it just on the basis alone that it's about Graham Parsons. And so since they did, make a killing off of the movement that he started, at least they did have a song
acknowledged.
about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they acknowledged him. And that was because of Bernie Leadon, because he was he in the Fallen Angels,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why there is a song about Graham Parsons. But it's not. I don't think it's all that great of a song. It just, obviously I like it for the reason it's about Graham Parsons.
I feel like popular albums back then records were bought so much differently. The Eagles, um, most people who experience the Eagles experienced them on that greatest hits album, that one with the blue cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, that's like that other one, like the Steve Miller Band greatest hits or the Aerosmith greatest hits. Like most people's understanding of their back catalog is based on the sequence and song selection of that particular thing. I think it's literally the greatest. It's greatest hits 71 to 75. I believe is one of the biggest selling records in the history of the world.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing because okay, so you have your After the Thrill Is Gone. That's the song that isn't on that album,
Yeah,
at least unless I've forgotten. And and so not as many people know that one. And yeah, with other Steve Miller, people don't know Living in the USA because that's not on that album. Uh, Bob Seger's greatest hits doesn't have Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, if I'm thinking correctly.
right. You took so every we did take between us all 10 songs on that first Eagles greatest hits. All
Uh,
10 all
well,
10 organically got picked.
not New Kid in Town, but
No. They're that greatest hits, that first greatest hits records of theirs.
well,
It's a got
no,
a
yeah, because
blue
New Kid in
cover with
Town's
the
later.
eagle skull. Yeah, that's
Okay, so
on
that's.
Eagles Volume 2, which was a big seller and all that stuff. Because
Hmm.
you Victim of Love and Sad Cafe are both on, and After the Thrill Is Gone is on number 2. But that
Right.
number 1, which covers through the album One of These Nights, we picked every one of those songs between us. It might even be 50-50.
Hmm. Yeah, I I wouldn't have even known actually. I would figure there's at least one song on there that neither of us would have wanted.
No, if you go look at it, you'll see the best Eagles. I would this is a long way of saying another artist who I believe we're going to have to do a draft for is Bob Seger. And
Well, so okay. Um, so I got something else I think will work better for Bob Seger, and that's the for the defense
that's
and
right.
for the prosecution.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, for his, I would say for Bob Seger, the song "Fire Lake," which I believe has the Eagles singing the background at least. I think they co-wrote it with him. That's a great old song. Like that's a great old like the tail end of the classic rock era. That would be one of the last listenable records from the classic
Yeah,
rock era.
I think yeah, I think honestly Bob Seger, because you have, and so now we probably won't want to include any of this, so we'll have to pause. But I think for Bob Seger, you could go, if you go to the earliest stuff, you're
Yeah.
going to find some good stuff there. Like Ramblin' Gamma Man is really good. That's when a Caucasian is doing soul music and it sounds like what he's trying to do. Like he's accomplishing what he's trying to do.
I guess. Bob Seger. There are certain songs that I've just heard so many times that I'm either comfortable with it, or like I don't know if it's just a defense mechanism where like, oh, I guess that's okay, or oh, that's interesting, but mostly
So
it's vicious and it's punishing.
okay, so just to give like a rough sketch for when we do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take down like the songs that I'd be thinking of as for the defense songs, Ramblin' Gamblin' Man would be one. Two plus two equals what is it? 2 plus 2 equals question mark.
Yeah.
That's you can't deny that song. Um, I don't know where from there. Like I like the song Noah a lot, but I think that was written by the there was another guy in the Bob Seger system that sort of became like he's sort of the Doug Yule of the Bob Seger system.
Oh, okay. You do have to acknowledge Bob for in Turn the Page for documenting an encounter which I think had to be with an Iowan, which is somewhere on the highway east of Omaha. You know, it's east of Omaha on the only highway he would have been on, right? Like there's only one
Right.
highway that goes east out of Omaha, and it crosses Iowa end to end. Now, you know, if it was east of the Mississippi, he would have just been like somewhere on the highway east of the Mississippi.
That's a good point. The Mississippi would be the barrier that.
Yeah, so he doesn't say the Mississippi, he does say Omaha. That makes it about 99% certain that the human being who uttered "Is that a woman or a man?" was probably somebody's grandpa that we went to school with.
So by the way, with that song then,
Yes.
and the Mountain Goat song that takes place at the Meskwaki Casino,
right? That's
and
true.
then the Purple Mountain song, that
Yeah,
mentions Des Moines.
Johnny Cash goes up the river where his gal's cavorting in Davenport, which haven't we all?
So yeah, we should officially or unofficially come up with a list of songs that mention Iowa, that either take place in Iowa or mention it.
Yeah, there aren't a ton more. You could probably do it in like on the back of an envelope. The best one,
well, Stranded, we got 4 right off the top.
Stranded in Iowa by Manfred Mann is pretty good.
Yeah, but I've always So I've always wondered if that really had anything to do with Iowa, or they just picked it out of a hat, basically, because there's nothing specific in it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they again, it has an interstate highway, and you could get stranded there by snow. That does happen. That could the story.
I have my doubts. that was in any way autobiographical.
Well, the best song is Wire's song Map Reference 41 degrees north, 93 degrees west from the 154 album.
That ends up being Iowa?
That's right smack. I think it's near Sheraton. It's on like Highway 34, south of Des Moines-ish, maybe a little west of Des Moines. I don't know.
So did you just put that together, or did you?
I read it. Someone told me when I lived there that they were flying over and they just saw land features that they thought were strange, and they asked, "Where are we?" And the guy just read off the location they were when one of the members of the band looked out the window.
I wonder what the strange features were.
It's probably the locals. That would be my pick. I don't know much else. Like, there's some stories from Iowa, but like Iowa, the only contribution Iowa ever made to music is Dick Spiderbake from who I have read is just described as the only white jazz musician worth taking seriously.
House of Large Sizes.
I don't
Um,
know.
Rex Daisy started out as an Iowa City band, and they moved to Minnesota to become a
Yeah.
Minneapolis band.
Tripping
So
Daisy got signed to Sire, so they got at least a major label.
yeah, Trip Master Monkey, House of Large Sizes, Rex Daisy. It had some
House
good
of
ones in the '90s.
House of Large Sizes, I think, had one record on CBS Records, or that was like Sony distributed. I think they did.
I
They,
don't remember what the label was.
I think they had one that was Sony distributed.
They had a major label record. That was on Columbia. Yeah, Columbia. Okay, 1994. All right, so
They were fun.
yeah, I like them a lot. Um,
Oh, we're forgetting Slipknot. That's ridiculous.
right,
That's absurd.
Slipknot. I don't know. I don't know hardly any. I know they have somebody named Corey because I hear about him a lot, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you think they got the keys to Des Moines? Do you think Des Moines acknowledges that they live there?
They played the state fair this year.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like tickets for things at the state fair. There was a Prince tribute that I wish I'd have gone to because that was actually free, and I had free tickets to the fair, and I was gonna go, but it was on a Monday night, and I was kind of beat from the day, and so I didn't go. But I wish I'd have gone to that. But the shows that they had were not good, and not only were they not good, they were expensive. Like Hootie and the Blowfish, which I didn't think they were together anymore, but they played there, and I think tickets for that were like $70 or something ridiculous.
Yuck.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gonna take a hard pass on that one. Thanks
yeah,
though.
very, very hard pass.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I like if you grow up in Chicago, there are bands that just work the town picnic circuit. I think Big Head Todd and the Monsters is one of them. Just that whole era, all those bands. Just,
Yeah,
like that's sort of once all the alternative music sort of went to its own radio station, think of what was left in current rock. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
nothing. Nothing.
yeah. I don't know why Candlebox is and Silver maybe Silverchair is on that circuit, but
Yeah.
I don't I don't think like Candlebox is on that circuit at all. But Collective Soul, that seems to be their
Yeah. I don't think I'd know those people if I passed them on the street, but I feel like I've heard every one of their songs a trillion times.
yeah.
That's not good. I don't mean
No.
that as I'm not happy about that. How can they be? They must have signed a terrible contract if they're broke. I believe our Eagles draft is a success. I actually think both of us have a tolerable
Yeah,
playlist.
yeah. I'm glad we went to 10,
Yeah.
because I think this would have been too easy to go to 5. I think 4. So we gonna do Steely Dan next?
All right, Steely Dan it is.
Okay, so Steely Dan, I think that's got to be a 5. I'm gonna have a hard time with that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna try to help you then. Because uh if it's going down to 5, this is gonna get brutal.
Meaning
I'm
what?
sorry, 10 number there. 10 would be brutal, yeah. So
Yeah.
you're right. Sorry,
So
I'm
yeah,
complete.
5 would be a stretch for me.
5 would be a stretch for you. Okay, I think I should be
So
able to.
so I think just for the format, we go from 5, anywhere from 5 to 10, like a minimum 5, maximum 10. Like
Hmm.
if it should be more than 10, then the band's like too good to be on this in this thing.
Yeah, you're right. I think we were right at the edge there with the Eagles. But can
Hmm.
you really describe the Eagles too good? No.
Well, but they did have some songs. They're
And they were great. I wonder if that is some of that's production credit, but again, you got to give them their due.
Yeah. No, because they had a lot. They did have a lot going for them. They had good harmonies. Um, they had good melodies. You know, they had like guys like Joe Walsh, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. But then again, you know, Steely Dan are certainly great musicians.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I would say, I would say at best they're an acquired taste, though. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
looking at their most popular stuff is to me the most repulsive. But
I think the best line I've ever heard about Steely Dan is Tom Sharpling's line. He said that the only thing that Steely Dan is good for is demonstrating speakers, and it's
That's
very
cold.
true. You know, it's like if you want to you know check the clarity and the you know on a new set of speakers, that's where you go. You go to Steely Dan.
Yeah, that's cold. It's true. Cold. It's very cold.